Kamala divided her investment of rupees 1 lakh between stocks, bonds and gold. Her investment in bonds was 25% of her investment in gold, with annual returns of 10%, 6%, 8% on stocks, bonds and gold respectively. She gained a total amount of rupees this in 1 year. Fine. The amount in rupees that she gained from the bonds was, okay, fine. So she had total of this amount, and she invested in stocks, bonds and gold. Her investment in bonds was 25% of her investment in gold. So if her investment in gold is 100x, her investment in bonds will be 25x. And so in stocks, which is not given, so in stocks it will be 1 lakh, which is a total investment, right, minus 125x. This is the way she had invested in all three methods. Okay, now with annual returns of 10% in stocks, okay, 10% in stocks, 6% in bonds and 8% in gold, she got total of this much. Okay, very much simple now, very much simple. See, if she got 6% of 25x, her investment in bonds is 25x, of which she got 6% returns on it. So 6% of this 25 into 6, 1.5x she got on bonds. 8% of 100x is 8x. On gold she got as returns, and 10% of this value, which is 10,000 plus minus 10% of this is 12.5x, right? This is the total returns she got from all three investments, right? And that is equivalent to, as per the question, is 8,200. I hope you're understanding this point. So 1.5 plus 8 is 8.5, minus 12.5 is minus 3.x. I'll take to this side, it will become 3x. Yes or no? 12.5 minus 9.5 will become 3x. Okay, and this 8,200 to this side will become 1,800. 10,000 minus 8,200 will become 1,800, and so x is equal to 600. That's it. X is 600. So what she gained from the bonds is, 1.5x. Yes or no? So 1.5 of 600 is 900, right? Or 1.5 into 600 is nothing but 900. She got 900 from the bonds. You'll type your answer here and get the marks. I hope you understood how systematically we can go and solve the questions. A certain amount of money was divided among these four people. Pinu received 20% of the total amount, fine. Meena received 40% of the remaining amount, fine. If Seema received 20% less than Pinu, right? Okay, then the ratio of amounts received by Pinu and Renu is quite straightforward question. Again, see, these are four people, P, M, R and S, where P received 20% of total. Let's say total is 100x, right? So P received 20% of this, right? And what is remaining? 40% of remaining is 80x now. 40% of this is 32x. So 32x. And one more information is given to us. Seema received 20% less than Pinu. So what is 20% less than Pinu? 10% is 2, 20% is 4x less than Pinu. So she had received 16x. I hope you understood. So what is total? 32 plus 16 is 48 plus 20 is 68. Out of 100x, 68x received by all three. And so Renu must have received 32x. I hope you're understanding this. Okay, what is ratio of Pinu and Renu? What is ratio of these two values? That's it. That's it. So 4, 5, 20 and 4, 8 is this. 5 is to 8. That's it. P is to R is asked, and so it is 5 is to 8. I hope you understood this. Very simple. Great. In September, the incomes of Kamal, Amal and Vimal are in the ratio 8 is to 6 is to 5. Okay, incomes are in the ratio. They rent a house together and Kamal pays 15%, Amal pays 12%, and Vimal pays 18% of their respective incomes to cover the total house rent in that month. Fine. So out of this income, they have paid some amount of money as house rent. Okay. So in October, the house rent remains unchanged while their incomes increases by this. In October, the percentage of their total income that will be paid as house rent is nearest to what? Okay, so let's do this. In September, what is happening? Incomes of K, A and V are, let's say, 8x, 6x and 5x. They're paying house rent of 15%, 12% and 18%. Fine. So what is the value? 15 into 8 is 1.2x, 12 into 6 is 72, so 0.72x Amal paid the rent, and 18 into 5 is 90, so 0.90x, 0.9x paid by V. Okay, so what is total house rent they paid in the month of September is those, though calculators will be allowed for these questions, but I am solving it for you. So this is 2, okay, 2x, and 9 plus 7, 16 plus 2 is 8, okay, that is 18, 1 plus 1 is 2, 2.82x, this is house rent paid in September. Now they are saying the house rent remains unchanged, but the incomes increases by 10%. So this increases by 10%. So what is happening in October? This income is increases by 10%. So what is 10% of this? Is 0.8. So your income becomes 8.8x in October. Fine. 12% of this, 0.72x is increased, you know, so it becomes 6.72x. Fine. 15% of this, so 75, that is 5.75x. These are new incomes in October. What we want is percentage of their total income in October. Okay, so we want total of this and percentage of this. What will be this value of house rent, right? So let's calculate this again. As I said, calculators will be allowed for doing this calculation, but let's do it here. 5 plus 2 is 7. Okay, so 7x, 7 plus 7, 14 plus 8 is 22, 2 plus 5 is 7 plus 6 is 13 plus 8 is 21, 21.27x, right? This is total income in the month of October, and this is house rent they paid in October, because it is same, the house rent remains unchanged, it is given. So we want, what is this house rent, percentage house rent of this total income? So what we want is this, 2.82x is what percent of this value, right? Is what percent of this value. Again, you can simply put in calculator and get your answer, but let's think. We want this value is what percent of denominators. In basics of percentages, concepts of percentages, we did these calculations very much easily. We know the approach to calculate this. See, we want this value is what percent of this value. So we know 10% of denominator, 10% of denominator is 2.127x, right? X will get cancelled, so just nullify this. Okay, 10% is this. Okay, we have options 14, 12, 13, 15. So I can simply think of 3%, right? 3% of this value. We know 1% is 0.2127. So 3% is triple of that, which is 21 into 3 is 63, 27 into 3 is 81. So it is 0.6381, right? So if I add this, I'll get 13% of the denominator. Okay, so it is 2. This is 1, 5, 2, 3, 5 plus 1, 6, and this is 7. 2.7651. Please try to understand. We have value 2.82, which is greater than this value. Yes or no? This is greater than 13%, slightly greater than 13%. slightly greater than 13%, and so this is your answer. I hope you're understanding. If you calculate 14%, 1% more of the denominator, it will be 0.2 something, which will be 2.9 or something, right? It will go beyond 14%, and that's what we do not want. We have already got the value as 13.26%, right? So it is very much close to 13%, but slightly more than 13%, and that's why 13.26% is the right choice. I hope you understood this. Great. After 2 successive increments, Gopal's salary became 187.5% of his initial salary. Okay. If the percentage of salary increases in the second increment was twice of that in the first increment, fine, then the percentage of salary increase in the first increment was, okay, so if the initial salary of Gopal is 100x, it will become 187.5x, right, after 2 successive increments. So if first increment is x%, right, the second increment will be 2x%. This is what is given to us. Now options are there. We can simply go with the options and get your answer easily, rather than going with quadratic equations. See, let's do this very lovely option, 20%. So if it is 20% in the first year, right, your first year income will be 120. After 1 year, it will be 120x. Now you are getting double. The first increment, second increment is twice of the first, so it is 40%. What is 40% of this? Is 48. So it will become 168. No, we want 187. So answer should be greater than 20. Okay, think of 30, by the way. Let's think of 30. 100x becomes 130x of the first increment. It will become 60. So 60% of this, 13 into 6, 78. Oh, it is going more than 200. More than 200. Check with this. 100x becomes 125x. Now 25%, double of it will be 50% increment in the second year. 50% of this is 62.5. Yes, it is 187.5x. So 25% is the right choice. I hope you understood how we can go and do these questions quickly. Great. The salaries of 3 friends, Sita, Geeta and Meeta, are initially in the ratio 5:6:7 respectively. In the first year, they get salary hikes of this. In the second year, Sita and Meeta get salary hikes of this. And salary of Geeta becomes equal to the mean salary of the 3 friends. Fine. The salary hike of Geeta in the second year is, looks quite straightforward. Let's think of this. So Sita, Geeta and Meeta, let's say their salaries are 5k, 6k and 7k. In the first year, they're getting salary hikes of 20%. So 20% of this is 1k, because 10% is 0.5. So it will become 6k. 10% hike, with 10% hike on this. Okay. 25% of this is 25% of this is 1.5k. So it will become 7.5k. Okay. And 20% of this will be 1.4k. So it will become 8.4k. Here, fine. Now Sita and Meeta got salary hikes of 40% and 25%. So it is 40% of this, 2.4k. So it will become 8.4k. And 25% of this is 1/4 of this is 2.1. Yes, 2.1 hike. So it will make 10.5k. Fine. We do not know what is value of Geeta, but we know one thing that the value of Geeta becomes average of these 3 values. So 8.4 plus 10.5 is what? This is, let's say, I'll do it here, 9 and 18.9k plus value of G upon 3, right, upon 3. This is average or mean of 3 friends, all 3 friends, because this is total of 3 friends upon number of people. This average is equal to value of G. I hope you're understanding. Okay, so 18.9k plus G is equal to 3G, or 2G is equal to 18.9k. right? What we want is salary hike of Geeta in the second year. So we want value of G. Okay, G will be 2 9 is this, 2 4 is 8, and 2 5 is this, 9.4k. Value of G is equivalent to 9.45k. Fine. What we want is, what is salary hike here? What is salary hike? In terms of hike, in terms of value, it is 5 minus 5 is a 5k. In fact, kk will get cancelled, no worries, but I am writing it here. Okay, 14 minus 5 is 9, and 9 minus 8 is 1. 1.95k is the salary hike of Geeta over this salary. Okay, so 1.95k is what percent of this value? This is what we want. So what is 20% of this? 20% of this denominator will be 1.5. Yes, 1.5. But if you want 1.95, so it is, answer should be more than 20%. What is 5% of this? 5% of this is 0.375. 70, half of 75 is 37.5. That's why I'm doing it. Okay, so 25% will become 1. This is 875. Okay, so 25% is 1.875, but our numerator is slightly more than that. Slightly, in fact, you can consider 1% more to get more clarity. What is 1% of the denominator? Is 0.075. So this will be 5 5 10, this is 15, and this is 9, and that's it. That's it. It is exactly 1.95. So 25% plus 1% is 26%, right? So again, calculators will be allowed in such questions, but just for your understanding, I am doing it here, right? I hope you understood this particular point. In a company, 20% of the employees work in manufacturing department. Okay, fine. If the total salary obtained by all the manufacturing employees is 1/6 of the total salary obtained by all the employees in the company, okay, then the ratio of average salary obtained by the manufacturing employees to the average salary obtained by non-manufacturing employees is, fine. So a couple of topics are mixed for this question. Let's do this. 20% of the employees work in manufacturing. So if 20x are working in manufacturing, so total must be 100x, and in non-manufacturing will be 80x. Fine. These are number of employees we have considered. Fine. If the total salary obtained by all manufacturing employees, total salary is 1/6 of total salary by all employees in the company. Okay. If the total salary is let's say 6k, then it is 1/6, so k will be total salary obtained by manufacturing employees. I hope you're understanding. So 20x, these are number of people, and total salary of them is k. And when we have total 100x people, the total salary is 6k. I hope you're understanding. So non-manufacturing employees salary will be 5k, and we have 80x such non-manufacturing employees. I hope you understood how structured we got the information written here. Okay, what we want is now, then the ratio of average salary obtained by manufacturing employees. Okay, ratio of average salary by manufacturing employees. So manufacturing employees are these. Average is what? Total salary upon number of employees. This is average of manufacturing employees to the average salary obtained by non-manufacturing. Non-manufacturing average is total salary upon number of employees. That's it. We want this ratio. That's it. K will get cancelled. X will get cancelled. Denominator will divide denominator. 21, 24 is this. 4 will come to this side. 4:5 is the answer. That's it. I hope you understood how easily we could get the information, and if you are conceptually clear, things will be very much easy, guys. The population of a town in 2020 was 1 lakh. The population decreased by Y% from the year 2020 to 21 and increased by x% from this to this, where x and y are two natural numbers. Fine. If population in 2022 was greater than population in 2020 and the difference between x and y is 10, then the lowest possible population of the town in 2021 was. We are going to solve this question in a smarter way, right? See, I'll tell you the concept first and then we'll have a smarter approach to do this question. See, the question is telling us that in 2020 the population of a town was 1 lakh. Okay, now it is decreased by y%, and you have some population in 2021. Now it is further increased by x% and you have some population in 2022, right? 2022, let's say this is let's say A and this is B, right? Population in 2022 is B and population in 2021 is A. Fine. Where x and y are two natural numbers, if the population in 2022 means this value, this B, is greater than this value, right? Greater than population in 2020, right? Okay, fine. And x, the difference between x and y is 10. This is very interesting thing, guys, to understand. See, if you are decreasing this value by some percentage, if you are decreasing this value by some percentage and you are further increasing this value by some percentage, and it is given that this value should be greater than this. Now can you tell me which value will be higher, x or y? See, for example, let's say with some percent, let's say 40%, if it is decreased by 40%, it will become 60,000 in 2021. I'm just taking an example to make you understand, right? So if you have to increase this value by some percentage, right, and such that this value should be greater than this value. Now tell me, if you have decreased it by 40%, if you increase by 40%, it will increase by 24,000. 40% of this value will be 24,000, and so it will make 84,000 only. Please try to understand, this is not greater than this. We want this value to be greater than this. So x, the percentage value, should be greater than this percentage value, right? Then only this final value will get increased by this. I hope you are understanding what I'm trying to say. X should be greater than y, and we know the difference between them is 10. So x minus y is 10, right? I hope you're understanding this point. So if you consider this value as k, this will be k plus 10. Right? This is conceptual approach, guys, I'm telling you. For now, henceforward, you can just make an algebraic quadratic equation and go and solve this for k, right? I hope you understand. There's no need to think of a and b in the equation. Please try to understand. I have just given it for your understanding. Now, I'll prefer to solve this particular question using options. That is the best thing you can do. Please try to understand. See, you have calculators for such questions, for these questions, so it won't be a big deal. See, say for example, the lowest possible population you took is 74,000, right? So 1 lakh was the initial value. If you decrease it to 74,000, right, that means you are decreasing it by 26%. So your value of y is 26, so value of x will be 36%, right? So you have to increase this value by 36%, or you can simply multiply, because calculators will be allowed for these questions. So you can simply multiply with 1.36 to get this value, right? So again, you can, if you check with this, let's say if this is 75,000, so that means you are taking 25% as y, so you have to consider what, 35% for x. Again with 72,000, you'll consider this. This is decreased by 28, so x will be 38%, or you can simply multiply this with 1.38 to get this final value. And the last option is 73,000. And this is y, value of y will be 27%, I'm sorry. So x will be 37%, right? So you have to multiply 73 into 1.37, right? 73,000 into 1.37, and this is going to give you pretty much a close answer which is greater than 1 lakh. This is minimum possible, lowest possible, somewhere around this, right? Minimum possible value that we are going to get, and so you'll choose option D as the right choice. I hope you understood what I'm trying to say. See, in 72,000 what will happen, you'll get somewhere around 99,000 or something, right? So but it is not allowed. Why? Because we want this value to be greater than this initial value. That's why we'll choose this one, right? So I'll not recommend you to go with this algebraic thing, rather you can just go with the options. That's it. In an election there were 4 candidates. Okay, 80% of the registered candidates casted their votes. Fine. One of the candidates received 30% of the casted votes, while the other 3 candidates received the remaining votes, casted votes, in the proportion 1:2:3. Okay, if the winner of the election received 2,512 votes more than the candidate with the second highest votes, then the number of registered voters was. Okay, very simple, go systematically, right? See, let's say registered users or registered voters are 100x, right? So 80% registered casted their votes, so casted votes are 80x. Out of these casted votes, candidate got 30%, one of the candidate got 30% of the casted. So what is 30% of the casted? Is 24x. So what is remaining votes? Remaining votes out of this 56 remaining votes. Fine. And these remaining votes are distributed as 1:2:3 with those candidates, those 3 remaining candidates. I hope you're understanding. Okay, so this is 24x. Let's check this. This is the higher vote that the candidate, let's say candidate 1, let's say this is candidate 1, candidate 2, candidate 3 and candidate 4, right? So this is the higher part, let's say, out of this 56. Okay, so what is that? 3 parts out of 3 plus 2, 5 plus 1, 6. This person, candidate 4, is getting 3/6 part of these remaining votes, or half of remaining votes is 28x, right? So 3 parts is 28x. That means 1 part is approximately 9 point something, 1 part is 9 point something, 2 part will be 18 point something, right? Please try to understand, there is no need to calculate for this. What we want is the winner of election received these many votes more than the candidate with second highest votes. So it is clearly seen that this is the winner and this is the candidate with second highest votes, right? So winner minus second highest votes, the difference is 2512, or 4x is equal to 2512, or x is equal to 46 is this 4 2 is 8. I'm sorry, 4 2 is 8. 11 minus 8 is 332. So 8 is this. X is equal to 628. But what we want is number of registered voters. Registered voters we have assumed as 100x. So it will be 62,800. That's it. That's it. I hope you understood how systematically we go and get our answers. A box has 450 balls, each either white or a black ball. There being as many metallic white balls as metallic black balls. If 40% of the white balls and 50% of the black balls are metallic, then the number of non-metallic balls in the box is. Fine. So let us put in a very systematic way. We have black balls, we have white balls, and there are some metallic balls, there are some non-metallic balls. Okay, it is given that there are as many metallic white balls as black balls. Fine. 40% of white balls, we do not know number of white balls. Let's say white balls are W and number of black balls are B. Number of black balls are B, number of white balls are W. Okay, 40% of white balls, okay, and 50% of the black balls are metallic. Okay, so metallic are XX, they both are same, it is given. Okay, so this value is 0.4 of W. 40% of white balls is equal to metallic, and 50% of black balls is equal to metallic, and both these values are equal. I hope you're understanding. So 0.5b is equal to 0.4w, or b by w is equal to 4 by 5. That's it, right? We got the ratio of black balls, number of black balls to number of white balls, and we know that there are total 450 balls. Let us divide 450 balls in this ratio, right? Black is to white is 4 is to 5, and so total parts are 9. Okay, so if there are 450 balls into 50, so this will be into 50, this will be into 50, right? So this is 200, so we have 200 black balls and we have 250 white balls. These are total. We have 200 black balls, 250 white balls. Fine. Out of 200 black balls, metallic are 50%, so 100 are metallic, so non-metallic are 100. Out of these 250 white balls, 40% are metallic, that means 100 are metallic and remaining 150 should be non-metallic. What we want is total of these two. Non-metallic balls in the box is 250. You'll type 250 here and get your marks. I hope you understood how systematically we can go and solve the question. The total male and female population in a city increased by 25% from 1970 to 80. During the same period, the male population increased by 40%, while the female population increased by 20%. Fine. From 1980 to 1990, the female population increased by 25%. In 1990, if the female population is twice the male population, then the percentage increase in the total male and female populations in the city from 1970 to 1990. Fine. Pause this. Just try to understand what is given in the question, draft the given things and start solving the question. Let's get started how we can approach this question. See, total male female increased 25%, out of which male increased by 40%, female by 20%. I hope you get clicked by one concept that we saw, concept of allegation. Male increase given, female increase given, and total increase given for these 10 years. So male female, male increased by 40%, female increased by 20%, and overall increase is 25%. So we'll get the ratio of male to female. Pretty much simple. I hope you understood this. This is 15, so it is 1:3, right? Ratio of number of male to number of female is 1:3. I hope you understood. Now what we can assume the total number of population or total population, because we want some percentage calculation over it. So we can assume total population as 4x also, or we can assume it as 400x also. Why 400x? Because we have to calculate some percentages, so this will be easier to calculate. So let's think that the total population is 400x. 400x is the total population, of which male will be 100x, and female will be 300x. This is how 400x is the population. Okay, so male is 100x and female is 300x, right? Okay, now what is given to us? This is when 1970. What is happening in 1980 is the population got increased by 25%. So 25% is 1/4 of 100x. So this is 500x. 1/4 of 400, so 100x, right? So got increased by 25%. Fine. Total population. Okay. Male got increased by 40%. So it becomes 140x in this 1980. And it is increased by 20%. So it will become 360x. Fine. Okay. Now, from 1980 to 1990, the female population increased by 25%. Okay. So 1990. What is happening? This is increased by 25%. 25% is 1/4. What is 1/4 of this is 90. So it will become 450x. And one more information is given that the female population is twice the male population. So the female population in 1990 is twice the male population. That means it should be 225x. I hope you understood this. I hope you understood this. And what we want is, what is percentage increase in total male and female population in city from 70 to 90? Total population increase. What is total? We have 4 plus 2 6, and this is 675x. This is total population we have in 1990, and in 1970 we had 400x. What is this percentage increase? So in terms of value increase, it is 275x increase. So 275x is what percent of 400x? That's it. That's it, right? So 4146 is this, and 24, so 35, 48 is this, and 347 is 28. That's it. This is your answer. I hope you understood how systematically we can go and solve the questions, right? We got the ratio of male to female because we have very sweet information given in the first two lines only, and so we go in a very structured way to get our final answer. Great. In the final examination, Bishnu scored 52% and Asha scored 64%. Okay, the marks obtained by Bishnu is 23 less, and that by Asha is 34 more than the marks obtained by Ramesh. Fine. Then the marks obtained by Geeta, who scored 84%. Okay, let's do this. The comparison is given, or relationship is given between this Ramesh. Let's say Ramesh got R marks, right? Ramesh got R marks, so B must have got R minus 23, and Asha must have got R plus 34. This is 52% of the total. This is 52% of the total, right? 52 or 0.52 of total. Let's say total mark is T, and this is 64% of total, right? So 52% is equal to this, 64% of total is equal to this. So we will be having two simultaneous equations, and we will be able to do this. See how 0.52t is equal to R minus 23, and 0.64t is equal to R plus 34, right? So let's subtract this from this, from this. So 4 minus 2 is 2, 6 minus 5 is 1, so 0.12t is equal to R. R will get cancelled, and this minus minus will be positive, or we'll add this. 4 plus 3 7, 3 plus 2 is 5, or t is equal to 57 by 0.12, right? Please hold on, do not calculate this. What we want is, this is total we have got now. Total we have got, total marks are this. Don't calculate for now. What we want is the marks obtained by Geeta, who scored 84% of these total marks. So Geeta scored 84% of this total marks. That's it. That's it. So 0.12 into 100 will be 12. This is 12 simply, and 12 1, 12 7 is this. So 7 into 7 is 49. 7 into 5 35 plus 4 39. That's it. This is your answer. I hope you understood very much clearly what we did and how we can minimize the calculation part. Great.